It's April 10th, 2012, 4:04 time. I'm Jeff Bacalar.
And I'm Justin Yu.
This is the show where I'm never going on a cruise.
Not even the Disney cruise?
Not even those
What's the
cruises
worst that can happen on a cruise?
with the unlimited food and the unlimited booze.
Phase.
Man, have you ever been on a cruise?
I have, yeah. I
Yeah.
used to go on a cruise to Mexico all the time.
What does that mean all the time?
Maybe like once a year, like during the summertime.
Yeah.
My family would take a cruise.
That's
to
nice of
Mexico.
your
Nothing
family.
crazy ever happened, though. All we
Yeah.
did was just eat a lot of food. Wake up at 11 o'clock for the midnight buffet.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
The food, man. You eat so much food.
Oh, the bad magicians, too. The bad
The
magicians and
yeah.
horrible stand-up
Hypnotists.
comedians.
Hypnotists, yeah.
Yeah.
I
There was
was
a
on-
ventriloquist on one of them, too.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
They're pretty low on the totem pole.
Yeah.
Would you say?
I'd say so. It goes like,
Like,
magicians,
Can
street
you
performers.
Can you name one besides like Jeff Dunham?
That's
Like
it.
he owns the whole market.
They
It's
get him for
just
everything,
him.
too. He was on
It's
30 Rock.
just him.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like what John Malkovich did, or excuse me, what's his face did in Being John Malkovich. He's like, I'm gonna be a puppeteer now.
Oh, right.
He's like,
John
okay,
Cusack.
you're a puppeteer now.
Right.
I'll make the necessary calls.
He's the most famous puppeteer of all time.
Yeah. So the reason we're talking about cruises, we read Reddit a lot. Justin and myself do.
Yeah.
Do you fall into what my wife calls a Reddit black hole?
Yeah. I
And you're
fall down
just-
that rabbit hole all the time.
You spiraling? No.
There's some good stuff on there, though.
There is some good stuff, and one of these good stuffs that we're talking about is something I came across yesterday. Holy God. There are people who didn't know that the Titanic disaster actually happened. I'm not joking. There are people who were tweeting early in April about the fact that, oh my God, I just learned that the Titanic really happened. Now, before we read some of these off, and you can agree or disagree with me, you know how I feel about these things. If you've tweeted that you didn't know the Titanic was a real disaster,
Yeah.
well, you should be kicked off Twitter.
You shouldn't be tweeting
You-
about
you should be
like,
kicked off
bragging
Twitter.
about your ignorance on Twitter is not a good idea.
I have a problem with that too. People, it's like almost trendy to be an idiot.
Right.
You know, I'm so adorkable. You know, I didn't know.
Right.
Gravity's real.
The worst is, they just, okay, so let me read off this one.
We'll switch them off. Let's
From,
read them all. Let's read 'em.
Charlotte Hall. She says, "Is it bad that I didn't know the Titanic was real? Always thought it was just a film."
You a-hole.
She isn't a young person either. She looks to be maybe at least 18 years old. No one that can drive should not know that Titanic.
Some schmuck named Brittany. Nobody told me Titanic was real? How am I just finding this out?
Yeah.
Read one.
Guys, I'm sorry, let me read it off in the voice you probably wrote it in. Guys, the Titanic was real. # mind blown.
I can't deal with this.
I like that.
Cool.
These are like the same kinds of people that didn't know Billy Crystal, who Billy Crystal was when he was
Right.
hosting the Academy Awards, which maybe isn't as bad if,
It's bad.
that's just an actor.
it's not
but
as bad as the Titanic,
is a
but it's
huge
bad.
historical landmark.
Mr. Dragon Slayer,
Yeah.
who clearly is educated. The Titanic was real, holy S. I'm never going on a cruise.
Yeah.
You moron. It was 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It really happened. A lot of people died.
So this is because
And
Titanic.
Kate Winslet was on it.
They just really thought that, like, oh my God, Titanic was just a beautiful love story that James Cameron concocted.
Is it? And, I guess James Cameron neglected to put based on a true story in the beginning of the credits there.
Right.
Holy God. I'm sorry. They shouldn't be kicked off Twitter. They should just be put in jail. Let's just put them in jail before they grow up to commit crimes. Because no one that stupid will be able to get through life just on honor.
Did you know that King Kong was also based on a true story as
yeah,
well?
yeah.
So is Twilight. It was based on a true story, I think.
The reason I think these people should not be allowed to post on Twitter is because, to me, Twitter is about progress.
Right.
And it's about the further... Well, it's not, though. As we can tell that by every day's trending topics.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, man, this should be the world's knowledge being shared. people like this, you're not bringing anything to the table. So just get off.
Were the characters Jack and Rose made up for the movie, though?
Who cares?
That's what I want to know.
That's
if we're
not
talking,
the point.
I know, but if we're diving into the...
It's historical
fake
fiction.
stories. Okay, so they were probably people in love on the boat.
I'm sure
They
one or
weren't
two
named-
people were
There's
going
probably
at
one
it.
guy named Jack, right?
There's maybe one guy named Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was enormous. There were a
There
lot
was
of
a Rose.
there were a lot of people on
Yeah.
there. I mean, even
But did they bone in the carriage, though?
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Even if you like I've seen. How many times have you seen like Titanic photos, real photos of the real ship underground?
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you seen like an exhibit at a museum? What are these people don't go to museums? But right, like how do you Rich? Am I crazy?
I remember learning about it in elementary school.
Exactly.
Like they teach the whole lesson about about what happened and about it, and they show pictures.
And everyone knows the iceberg story, you know? And these people are like, nope, it's real? Let me go tell the world how uneducated and stupid I am.
I'm not that mad about it. I mean, they probably don't teach that to young people.
It doesn't matter. I didn't learn anything
in school.
It's not
crucial to knowing, you know what I mean? If someone had said, what happened on that one day in September back in 2001, I would be appalled. But Titanic?
That was 10 years ago. Titanic, I'm sorry,
really that big of a deal?
major deal.
Is it really that big of a deal?
It's not a big deal in our lives.
Yeah.
It means nothing to us.
Horrible tragedy. Though.
Horrible tragedy, but it was
really that big of a
100. I can't say it's a big deal now because no one. I mean, I'm sure maybe there's like one or two survivors of that.
Right.
I don't know, but it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I know.
Arrest them, put them in jail.
Are you gonna go see
off
Titanic
with their
in 3D?
heads. No, I'm not gonna see Titanic in 3D. I still have not watched the whole film front to back.
Yeah. Wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen the whole film before?
Front to back, no.
You just quit halfway through.
No,
like,
first off,
forget,
it's
I don't
4.5
do
hours.
this. Right.
Second, the only part I wanted to watch was the
nude
sinky.
Oh, then the nude part, of course.
There's a nude part?
Yeah.
I thought it was a
like,
PG-13.
I'm gonna draw you like one of my French girls.
I see. I didn't get that reference.
What?
Yeah.
This is the part where he sketches her out when she's like lying.
Is
on
there
the...
there's full frontal?
Yeah. Well, full frontal is normally for dudes. I'm
No, you
pretty
could say-
sure we're talking about
The
boobs.
term full frontal can go is unisex.
Here. No.
Sure it is.
People only talk about full frontal when it's like a dong. I think.
No, I disagree.
Like
right?
Mark Wahlberg in
I don't
Boogie
know.
Nights.
Richard's our
They talk
official-
about full frontal and Boogie Nights all the time. They're not talking about Heather Graham.
Yeah, but it means the same, I think.
I've always thought it was just for men.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so
Either
it's
way.
like the one where he's drawing her naked, boobs asunder.
You have to sit in that pose the rest of the show. I would love that. Hey, Justin.
Anyway.
So, you want to buy Instagram?
No, I don't have $1 million.
It's
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
$1
And,
billion.
Don't you think? Okay, you're right. Great. Facebook bought it.
Yeah.
I don't know. First, you got to draw something. and got
You were surprised
Instagram.
though.
I mean, everyone's surprised.
Yeah.
It's not just me.
Mhm.
$1 billion.
They bought Draw Something. What company was that? OMG Pop.
Zynga bought
Zynga.
Bought OMG Pop.
Right.
And with it came Draw
That was for like
Something.
$130 million.
I think it was 210 when it was all said
Something
and
like
done.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
So people were evaluating that Instagram was going to get sold to somebody for $250,000 like 2 weeks ago.
$1 billion.
Then $500,000 a week ago. Turns out yesterday Facebook bought him out for $1 billion.
Now, look, I'm not the I'm not the official expert.
Mhm.
I think that's too much money.
Think it's too much money?
It's
Why?
too much money. But I don't think Instagram's worth $1 billion
Why not?
because I just think it's this bubble thing all over again.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't know.
I
What
think
you mean.
it's just
I think they're-
overvalued. First of all, everyone and their mother agrees
Yeah.
about the Zynga thing.
Right.
There's no one that would disagree with that.
Mhm.
$1 billion? I mean, yes, they were doing a better job at mobile photo sharing
Mhm.
than Facebook. They were.
30 million registered users. You don't think that's worth $1 billion? And then all the information they share about themselves. Like,
I don't
okay,
know.
So we've talked about how Facebook sells advertisements based on blocks of ages, right?
Right.
So like, if you want to buy the 18 to 24 block,
I get you.
you can advertise specifically to that demographic.
I understand.
Imagine how much information they can glean from people based on the photos they post, and then you can geotag in Instagram too,
$1 billion?
which is really valuable.
Think about what $1 billion is.
I just think that proves how much of a threat Instagram posed to Facebook.
I think that's what it
Zuckerberg
is
was
too,
freaking
and I
out about
think,
it.
and who knows what the backdoor meetings really were made up of.
Right.
Who they might have gone back and forth. There's Facebook saying Instagram's going to be a separate entity. They're really not going to touch it.
Yeah.
They just sort of want that under the umbrella.
Facebook's also never been able to really perfect the whole mobile platform, too. That's
You're
something
100% right about that.
That's something I think they bought into with Instagram, is no one ever uses the Facebook app.
It's
on
painful.
my phone, personally, I'm on the Instagram app far, far more.
When you go on Facebook on your phone, what do? Do you use an app or do you go to their mobile site?
I never do it, period. I only use their app if I get a notification I need to check something.
Their mobile site's getting
It's
better.
not a volunteer pickup.
I think their mobile site is getting better.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I think the core idea of Facebook, people don't want to check on the go. You know, you're not really worried about what status updates people are posting.
Right.
There's too much information on Facebook.
Right. To be.
I think with Instagram, they just want to see, oh, what's Jeff looking at right now? It's one aspect of someone's life.
Is this where I get Instagram?
I think you should probably stop being a biatch and do it.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
Number 2, get Instagram.
I'm pretty sure you still don't know what Instagram is.
It was funny because yesterday I almost came out and said I didn't know. Yeah. I know what it is, of course I do.
Do you know what it is? But you don't know the ins and outs of it, though. And how
all the kids on the Lower East Side are all about it, so I'm going to be about it.
You know there are hashtags in Instagram, too.
What?
There are. Did you not know that?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And I know you can follow people on it, and I know the whole deal. Yeah. I'm just understanding what Tumblr is, okay? Right. One step at a time. Baby steps, please. All right, Grandpa. Baby steps.
Man, so I think there's only like a dozen employees at Instagram still, right?
Don't know.
I think so. It's
Doesn't
a relatively small startup.
It's $1 billion.
It's $1 billion, but that's a lot of money.
And they're doing cash and stock, too.
Dang it.
Isn't that's just so... I think the CEO is getting $400 million.
Oh my
something like that I read.
It's really upsetting.
Think about that. They're 2 years old, the company.
Yeah.
You know who's next?
Who?
Pinterest.
Pinterest, you think, is next?
Oh, yeah.
Pinterest has only been around for what?
4 days. I mean, that's what it feels like. In internet time, it's 4 years, but in reality, it's 4 days.
I think we just hatched your next comic. It should be after 4 days, just make up a company, right?
Yeah, we were trying. It's funny that you brought that up.
Google acquires non-existent company for $4 million. Right?
Google acquires thought.
Unnamed.
Google acquires Harvard grad's thought.
Yeah.
For $8 billion.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
We started doing it before the Instagram story broke. It's going to be about the Mac virus.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Google acquires head scratch for $15 billion.
Google acquires napkin doodle.
We bought.
See that's more of an Onion headline.
Yeah.
Than a comic. The comic would have a hard time visually presenting that.
Oh, you could show it you could show a college kid scratching his balls.
It's true though, man. It's so true. It's the bubble all over again. But it's so much. It's more on a mega size.
Right.
Because in the .com bubble in like the late '90s and early 2000s, that was more of like everyone just starting up, doing a startup.
Right.
I feel like this is just a lot of acquisitions.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different in that. I'm curious to hear what Jill has to say about this, if she can really speak to that.
Right.
We're gonna have her on tomorrow, helping out with your last minute tax questions and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So give us a call, 866-404-CNET. Or you can tweet her, and she'll answer some questions.
You know who really got jacked in this whole deal?
Who's that?
Hipstamatic. I bet they're so pissed right now.
So explain that, because I'm not too familiar with Hipstamatic. I've heard of it.
I didn't get Hipstamatic before either, but as far as I know, it was just another
Instagram
app.
has the better name.
Yeah, Instagram has a far better name, but it was just another digital photography app, and they introduced the idea of filters.
Yeah.
And, like making it look like an antique film camera.
Right.
I think they started that retro trend in mobile photography.
Yeah.
But, like there's a million of them out there. Instagram, Camera Bag is another iPhone popular app.
When you really...
But they must be pissed.
They must be pissed, and all the competitors must be pissed.
MySpace buys Hipstamatic. That's going to be the next headline.
Friendster buys Camera Bag.
Yeah.
When you really think about it, and we do make fun, because I do think, for better or worse, they have changed the way photography is looked at.
Yeah. Crappier.
So, who knows what that will sort of result in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But in just 2 years, they went from literally nothing to $1 billion. That ain't bad.
Yeah.
And you got to give them credit.
Instagram's smart. They sort of combined Facebook and Twitter with TwitPic all into one app. It's so easy to use.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the problem.
That's why Tumblr's so big.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's so freaking easy to use.
It's just one thing, does it really well.
Man, when we used to hang out with Carp, he'd be like, guys, I'm looking for investors. We're such idiots.
Yeah, he was like, hey, give me $5, I'll give you 10 shares. Nah.
That never happened, but if it did, would you have been on that?
I'm going to start telling that
Hindsight's 20/20, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, how we used to be like boys with Carp.
Yeah. I think we met him 3 times.
Twice.
Yeah.
Going back to our rundown, there's something going on in New York City with our public payphones. Believe it or not, New York City does have a few public payphones left. In fact, we have a few outside our office here.
Right.
They're never used. They're more of like bathroom stalls.
Right.
But there's a new initiative in Manhattan to replace the payphones with smart screens.
Yeah.
So tell us about this.
So 250 phone booths around the city will be replaced with this pilot program. They're going to start that, I believe, next month. Instead, they're going to install these touchscreens, which I've actually already started seeing in the city.
Where's one at?
I think in the East Village they already have these sorts of receptacles.
They're
but
pretty
they're going to keep
big.
the old phone booth. But yeah, I think they're, how big? Like 20... No,
22?
24?
32.
32 inches?
Yeah, those are huge, man.
Yeah, so these will be turned into like Wi-Fi hotspots that you can walk up to. Eventually, you're going to be able to check your email and maybe even participate in a webcam chat through apps like Skype.
Right.
Directly on these things. Of course, they'll also be clogged down with advertisements and whatnot. But it'll also give you information like, I guess, if there's subway delays or traffic information.
I feel like they're bringing the back of the taxi cab experience. Yeah. Now they're putting it on every street corner.
Right, but what's the first thing everybody does when they jump into a taxi? Exactly.
Off.
Shut up.
And now they're just going to put this, and as soon as you walk by, it's going to be like one of those, Channel 7 updates.
Yeah, exactly.
We got the news coming in right in. They're just like, shut up. I'm just going to turn all these off.
Right.
We were wondering, how is this going to be sanitary? But apparently, the city of New York claims that these are more sanitary than ATM machines.
Yeah.
And that they're going to be power hosing them.
They're going to be jet hosing
them on the reg.
Use that word, jet hose.
Yeah.
That'll be done every day. Also,
every day?
Screens, yeah, they said the screens will be dust-proof and waterproof and cleaned every day with a jet hose.
Huh.
All 250 locations.
That seems
Which is
expensive.
really important because I try not to touch anything in New York City.
Are you like me, and every time you leave your office or even go outside to the outside New York world, you come back in, you wash your hands?
Yeah.
You don't do that.
No, I don't do that.
No, you lick your fingers.
Yeah, I go in and immediately start.
Finger licking good.
Yeah.
That's what you care about.
But if I ever go into a subway or something,
then you should.
Right? Oh, you know what's the grossest thing is pushing those turnstiles, the subway turnstiles.
You don't
people just grab it with their hand like that. No,
I do it with my knee, man.
I just kick it. Yeah.
You can't. There's not enough room.
Boom.
You kick it open?
Yeah, and then fall through at the same time.
I was going to say, the back must hit you in the ass.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Ugh
is
but
right.
People dragging their fingers across these screens all day long?
Not interested in partaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've lost your cell phone a few times, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Apparently, these are the U.S. wireless carriers are creating a database, a universal database, to help fight phone theft. So basically, it's a database that will try and prohibit people from reactivating stolen or lost devices.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's a universal sort of thing. It'll stretch across all the major carriers in the United States.
Yeah.
It's a smart idea.
This is really smart. So they're gonna, I believe, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile. Yeah, all 4 of the big carriers are gonna start doing this. Basically, they're going to assign IDs, cell phone IDs, to each account.
Okay.
And you'll have to provide this ID if you want to reactivate a phone once it's been lost.
Gotcha.
So that'll prevent people from, finding something in the back of a cab, for example, and then just starting to use it. Like you can disable it over the phone, reactivate it over the phone, but you'll need that ID.
And I think the biggest thing is the SIM card thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I could just pop my SIM card in, and it's my phone.
Right.
So is this going to sort of interfere with that, the ease of doing that as well, or no?
I think you're gonna. So the SIM card will be attached to that ID. So,
okay.
If you don't have it, then you won't be able to activate it afterward.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty smart.
There you go. Now you can all lose your phones with no worries. Because whenever I used to lose my phone, it would drive me crazy.
Just don't store the ID on the phone.
Of course.
That's
kidding though. I've never done that.
Yeah,
I've never lost a phone. Have you ever?
Wait, what?
I've never lost a cell phone.
What are you talking? You told us a story a couple weeks ago.
I might have left it in a freezer.
Yeah, that's right.
But I didn't lose it. It was still in my freezer.
You've never permanently lost your phone.
Never.
You had to buy a new one.
Never.
Neither have I.
Thank you, Richard. Us normal people here.
I've misplaced my phone. Yeah,
but you got it back.
But I've gotten it back.
All right, so that doesn't.
I've lost my wallet though. The first time that
That's a bummer.
First time I ever visited New York City was when I was in middle school. And I remember I had a wallet with me, and I paid the cab driver to get from the airport to the hotel.
Yeah.
I lost the wallet in the cab that day. It was right when I had arrived.
I get a good wallet losing story.
Yeah.
That's got to be scary though. You're young.
Yeah,
that's
I was young.
cool.
I was traveling by myself.
I was back from college and I had just graduated. And I went to the GameStop in near my house.
Yeah.
I bought a game and I, like a dingleberry, must have just left my wallet on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
So I get home and it was right around the corner. I get home and I'm like, oh man, where's my wallet?
Yeah.
So I call up the GameStop and I'm like, hey, I think I left my wallet on the counter there. They're like, yeah, some kid came in and took it.
Huh?
And I was like, wait a minute. You just let some kid take like a wallet without asking him if he matched the ID?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, he said it was his. I was like, oh, you're no help.
Didn't bother to just open that.
10 minutes later, I get a knock at my door.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kid's mom.
Oh.
She's like, hey, my little SH, you know what, kid.
Right.
She literally said that. My little crap kid stole your wallet from GameStop. Here it is.
Yeah.
All the money and everything.
That's awesome.
And I guess she knew where my street was. When
Right.
she looked in the ID.
Huh.
But isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Always count on good
Little
parenting.
bastard.
Yeah.
He's gonna steal my
Piece of
wallet.
crap, yeah.
What the hell, man?
That's not cool. Did you have a lot of money in that or something?
Like $80 in there.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Trying
He
to
was
rip
probably
me off.
psyched though.
Yeah, he was super psyched.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I got Jeff's wallet.
Why did he take it home though? You should just
Because he's a
taken the
little
cash out of it,
bastard.
thrown
He's a
the
little
wallet.
pilfering bastard.
Yeah. Anyway.
We got to take a break. When we come back, something amazing from Maxim. That's right. Maxim is still a magazine. And they've got an awesome list that we want to share with everybody. Stick around. There's a lot more 404 coming right after this. We'll be right back.
This is the 404 MRFers, the show where we all sing songs.
And it describes her horrifying experience when she first realized the complex was on fire.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Salutations, all. This is West Palm Beach from Deshaun, and you're listening to the 404 on CNET, where I'll get you, gadget.
Not bad. Sounds a lot like
I forgot what
Inspector
his name
Gadget's
Yeah.
arch nemesis, Mr. Claw, Dr. Claw.
is. Is that
Maybe they just
Man.
called him Senor Claw.
Matthew
hell is his
Broderick?
name?
What?
What? Oh, Matt
Oh, it
Broderick
was in
played.
I thought that was his like.
He's like, Matt Broderick?
What? He was the voice of Inspector Gadget?
How lame was that Matt Broderick Ferris Bueller Honda commercial?
Really bad.
Right?
Yeah, the Super Bowl one?
Ugh.
Oh,
Terrible.
it's Dr. Claw.
Dr. Claw.
pretty
there
good.
You go. That was right.
I'll get you, gadget.
Yeah. Wow. That's
It's not
pretty
hard
good, too.
to do. Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Not so easy.
Give me some more of that. I could listen to you cough all day, brother.
Yeah. Wow.
Woo. So Maxim magazine. Were you guys into Maxim
Hell yeah.
back in the day?
Not really.
We're just like, no, didn't read it. You're the man, Richard. That's so fun. He's like,
Nope.
Nope. Could
Definitely not. Could
was
not be
a
less
fan.
interested.
Look, he's bright red. I love it.
Yeah.
Was not a fan. Anyway, I remember when I first started working for the startup that I was into in 1999. Maxim was our Bible.
Right.
Maxim was like the go-to. It really was. I'm trying to think of an online sort of equal for it.
Porn.
It's not really porn because it was Playboy without nips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was funny.
It was,
And
it was like Mansers.
Yeah.
But in magazine
It was the man
form.
show.
Right.
Personified into a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to love it. I used to subscribe. I used to think it was great. Obviously, the internet had its way with Maxim.
There was always
Scott Stein used to write for Maxim.
Right, Scott Stein used to write for Maxim. I remember I got it because I would always sign up for these free magazine subscriptions.
Right, yeah.
Online, like
And
sites
Maxim
like
was-
bensbargains.net
Yep.
would always be offering free issues of Maxim, GQ, whatever publishing company that is.
Yeah.
Is it Condé? No, they do details.
Who is it?
I forget who publishes them.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember I had so many Maxims that when I put them on my shelf, you remember the binding of the magazine was always a sliver of a picture, usually of like a bikini-clad girl.
Yeah.
And if you had like the entire year,
it would
like the binding
would
make a giant picture.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. So I had so many that
I think it's Alpha
on my bookshelf.
What is it? It's Alpha Media Group puts out Maxim. Did not know that. I know nothing about Maxim. I haven't read one in a while. But one of our good buddies sent in a link that is actually kind of relevant to our show. It's 8 ways to make a gamer happy. And I guess it's aimed more towards the female end of a male-female relationship. Or just maybe the person who doesn't play games as opposed to the person who doesn't.
Okay.
So there's 8 tips on how you can make the gamer in your life happy. Male, female, does not matter. So number 1, get a clue, okay? Not saying you should fall in love with Call of Duty, but it'd be nice if you had some idea of what the hell we're talking about when we use words like gamer tag, matchmaking, or teabagging, which is a big online practice. You're just sort of
Oh, you can what?
sort of making your way through the Maxim website here. Number 2, play a game for once in your life. Chances are there's a video game you already like. So just take a look at your iPhone. There's a huge audience for casual console games. I disagree with this one. Playing Call of Duty and being able to relate with your significant other over Call of Duty just because you play Scramble with friends doesn't really work.
Okay.
Have some perspective. Gaming keeps us in the house and relatively subdued. Think of the alternative. We could be spending 12 hours every weekday out on the golf course or in bars getting crap-faced with our buddies. Resenting us for spending $60 and 40 hours with Mass Effect 3 is understandable, but also it was understandishable. Is that a word? But also temporary. Pretty interesting. These kind of suck.
These really suck. Yeah. I don't know. They just seem very stereotypical.
Then they're saying cosplay, put on an outfit, mix it up.
I think this is making things worse for gamers. Actually,
I think this is proof why no one.
Yeah, this is proof why. Did you read this before?
I read the sub headlines and I was like, that's a decent idea.
Yeah, this just seems really gross to me.
It's not working out.
Dress up. Okay, read this cosplay one. This really drives it in. It says, guys like it when girls put on sexy outfits for them, and gamers like it when girls put on sexy outfits from games they like. Cosplay equals costume play. It's such a big deal. Check his gaming stack, then Google said title with the word cosplay tacked on for some instant sexy time inspiration.
I was just about to let Maxim back in my life.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, you just blew it.
Ridiculous.
You know what, though? That was nice and organic.
Yeah.
We realized it on the fly.
This sounds like something Tucker Max wrote for the Maxim magazine. I had no idea.
Not bad. Before we hit voicemails, I want to talk about Best Buy.
Yeah.
Their CEO, Brian Dunn, has resigned. They've closed a lot of stores. What's going on with Best Buy? The writing is on the wall.
The writing's on the comment section of this Maxim article, too. I'm sorry. Last thing I'll say about this story. Look at this first comment.
Read it.
Awesome. It says, John Benton, whoever wrote this should be dragged behind a barn and shot. Liked 62 times.
Truth hurts, man.
Okay, let's move on now.
I'm talking about Best Buy.
Best Buy.
And I'm talking about, when was the last time you were in a Best Buy?
To use the bathroom maybe 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Where, in New York?
The bathroom. Yeah, the one on 14th Street.
You got to imagine they're really sort of shaking in their boots a little bit. Like I said, they've closed multiple stores.
Yeah.
Although they seem to be doing well in certain categories.
In the tablet category.
Right, but those things sell themselves. Not so well in others. I mean, what do you think? I mean, Circuit City, I mean, they've been gone for almost 10 years now, it feels like. Best Buy, they have too many stores. That's very clear. They pop up like weeds.
Right.
What do you think? I mean...
So we talked about this story a couple weeks ago. I guess they were closing down, sunsetting, if you will. They were sunsetting 50 of their stores, right?
Yeah.
Around the country, which is huge, and that's true. Like, you know, Best Buy stores are everywhere.
Yeah, there's too many of them. There's even Best Buy vending machines. I'm not joking. You go to an airport and there's a Best Buy vending machine. You can buy like an iPad out of a freaking vending machine.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I can't remember the last time I actually needed to go to a Best Buy for anything aside from the restroom.
Right.
Cracking codes.
But I'm just really curious. I mean, you got to imagine that them sort of having their CEO resign, and he claims it was a sort of amicable separation.
Mm-hmm.
They have to bring in somebody who will literally change the face of the entire franchise.
Right.
Someone to literally right the ship and make it so that Best Buy does not fold.
Do you ever go to bestbuy.com?
Every now and then.
Obviously, like their biggest competitor right now online is Amazon.com.
Sure.
But I'm wondering if the website even attempts to compete with their retail model. Do you know what I mean? I don't
know.
Right now, they're comparing the big box store to Amazon.com.
The only time I ever go to that Best Buy website is to really just check stock.
Yeah.
Like if I need something that I know I can't get any cheaper,
Right.
and it's just because the Best Buy is on the corner of where I take the PATH train back to Hoboken, I'm obviously just going to hop in there and just grab what I got to do, even though it is so painful going into these stores. It's funny. You go on like Google Maps and you see the ratings for these Best Buy stores, and they're like half a star.
The employees
People cannot.
don't know jack.
It's really, really sad.
Yeah.
And there was a time, and I think it also changes by where you are. But I remember a time where it was knowledgeable. People were really into it. Maybe it was because it was commission based. I don't know.
Right.
But things are much worse now, and something's got to change.
Yeah.
Something does have to change. Let us know what you think about that. Interesting to hear if we know anybody who
I want to hear
works
from
at
a Best Buy.
Buy.
Yeah, exactly. I want to hear from a Best Buy employee.
Yeah, there's got to be at least 40 of them.
I feel like whenever I go into a Best Buy now, no one's actually asking them for advice. It's more of a stock issue.
Right.
Do
It's
you
like,
have
do you
this
have any
anymore?
more of these?
Right, and they're always just walking around.
Because why am I asking this person?
Yeah.
You know, you ask 5 people in a Best Buy the same question, you'll get 5 different answers.
You know, I think the reason is because when you get hired at Best Buy, it's not like because you're a cell phone expert or because
There's
you
no
know a lot
vigorous
about
screening
stereos.
process.
Yeah, they probably just get placed in whatever department for that day. You
I
know,
think they
like
just
one day it could be refrigerators, and the next
Right.
week could be stereo equipment.
And I hate to really knock against it, but I'm sorry, we're being honest. The Best Buy experience has turned negative. It just has.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'd find many people who disagree with that.
Is there a better electronics retailer that you'd rather go to? Like, are you a PC Richard and Son guy?
Family-owned ones.
PC
I mean,
Richard and Son sucks.
ones that are independent.
Yeah.
You know, like TechServe.
Oh, okay.
TechServe is amazing.
Right. They know
It's mostly Mac but it's computer peripherals and whatnot. TechServe is fantastic.
What happened to CompUSA?
I
Are
think
those
they're
still a thing?
around. I
Really?
don't know. Are they? Do you know if
Computers
they're
aren't
I
even
haven't
a
seen
thing
them in a
anymore.
while.
Yeah.
Why would I go into a CompUSA?
The world's biggest compact reseller.
That's right. I remember going into CompUSA and buying like the super, super low like value rack games.
Right.
You know?
Or if you needed like a USB microphone.
Right.
Right. You would go to CompUSA.
I think I got a couple mice there too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it happens. I'm not happy people losing jobs over it, but you can't stop evolution. All right, before we go, calls from the public.
Time to show the love. 866-404-CNET.
404.
Calls from the public time. Apparently, I ignited people's memories with the IR 7000. Here's Larissa.
Hey guys, it's Larissa from Houston. I was listening to today's show on Monday when you were just talking about going home and finding all your old stuff. And I totally forgot that I had that same exact Sega IR, I don't know what it was called, the little PDA thing. I totally forgot that I had that until I saw the picture of it. And I was like, crap, I had that same thing. And I didn't know anybody else who had it. So, like, I think you were supposed to be able to, like, send information back and forth. But I didn't know anybody with one. So that feature was pretty much pointless. And, I mean, I was, like, I don't know, 10 or something. I didn't have a schedule, but I would like calendar the crap out of things. Like, I'm going to go to school Monday through Friday.
That's cute.
Saturday, I will sleep in and watch cartoons. Like, I put everything in that thing. And my contacts, like, we all had the same phone number in the same house, but I would put, like, mom, phone number, dad, phone number.
That's cute.
Just to put crap in that thing. So, yeah, that was cool. And you should totally whip yours out and see if I can find mine, and then we can send data back and forth to each other because I never got to use that.
Aw.
That is so adorable, Larissa.
That really is cute. The thing is, though, is that it was infrared. That's the only way you
had
can
to be
communicate.
next to
So
him.
Larissa will literally have to come to New York
Yeah.
and stand within 10 feet of me for us to communicate with our IR 7000s.
That's so
next time I go back to my parents' place, I'll bring that back.
Yeah.
It is, and I remember there was this like battle mode. It was like Pokemon. where it was like turn-based battling.
Right.
You know?
That's not that far off the technology we use now, like with Bump or whatever. It's the same idea. Or even with PDAs. I remember when Palm Pilots came out, you could play like Asteroids or
You're giving this too much credit.
Through infrared.
They basically did like a personal notebook, like personal journal, and made it transparent so it would look cool because you could like see the insides a little bit.
This is basically like a language translator with a
and there's a full keyboard
list
on it, so you felt like that was worth something.
I like how she was putting in everything from her 5-year-old to-do list or whatever.
Exactly. It's like, why are you marketing this towards kids when kids don't have business lives?
Right.
You know what I mean?
If you give something like this to a kid now,
he'd slap you in the face.
This is worse than a calculator.
You might as well give them ball in a cup.
Yeah.
It's the same usefulness.
I love the color scheme on this too. It's so deliciously 90s.
It is awesome. You don't understand how insane I got over this thing. Yeah. I could not wait until I was getting it for Hanukkah or something. I can't remember. And I was just like, I can't wait.
You know what type of design was really, really popular in the 90s, especially for electronics? Translucency.
Yeah, it's all about
I had like a translucent Game Boy.
Yeah,
I loved. I loved looking inside of it and
look at these working parts. That's cool, man.
My beeper was translucent.
You had a beeper.
My organizer was translucent. Oh, it's so cool.
You had a beeper.
Even quicker clickers. Remember those mechanical pencils? Those were translucent. You could see inside.
You could see the guts of the mechanical pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's the future.
Cool. Let's go back.
Give me a break. We talked a little bit about using an iPad or a tablet or any sort of device in your place of worship. Let's hear what our buddy has to say.
Hey, the 404. This is Sinkyoshi, and you guys are talking about iPads and et cetera in church. I'm a member of the Mormon faith, and actually, the Mormon Church is very tech forward. A lot of apps for the hymns and the scriptures, talks, everything, even the family history, genealogy. There's so many apps that the LDS Church is coming out with, and it's really cool. I mean, we just in our building we just installed Wi-Fi, let everyone know the password, that came, and so people can use technology in the Sunday school class, etc. So it's pretty cool.
That is kind of cool. I don't know. I'm not a practicing Jew, but
so we were talking about using tablets and services.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I guess it varies by religion in church. I mean, Richard, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I was raised Mormon as well, and I still go occasionally, not as much as I used to. But yeah, you can see like the church has an official app you can download, and it has like all the scriptures and manuals, like
it's on the app store and all that. And everything? That's awesome.
Yeah, and you can get like the hymns and everything
on
there. Yeah.
Huh.
So
go ahead.
It's interesting because like in church you see like everyone has their. Like in Sunday school class, everyone just has their phone or their tablet or whatever, and they're reading the scriptures and following along with the lesson and stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I like that. I was reading in that New York Times article we were talking about yesterday, there's a website called wegather.com.
Okay.
And I guess that lets you cater your church's, your church's, whatever.
Right.
To this app. But you can also make in-house donations using this app as well, so that you can tether it to whatever
you aren't going to get away with that easily.
Yeah, exactly. So you can, tithe using your tablet,
right,
instead of actually passing around the tray.
Yeah,
thing.
Interesting. I never thought I would see something like that.
I never thought that you would not be able to speak negatively about a religion, as we were talking about.
I'm holding it in.
Next call. You look like you're about to puke right now.
Next call.
Hey, 404, it's Arizona from Josh. I just had a question regarding Venmo for Justin. I have recently downloaded and set it all up, but the one thing I'm wondering is if you're required to have funds in your Venmo account in order to make payments or to charge people, and two, if there is a limit on how many payments you can make from your linked bank account. So I was just wondering if you happen to know about that. Anyways, love the show. Thanks.
Yeah, I totally unfamiliar with Venmo.
Yeah,
but you are not.
No, I am very familiar with it. I use it all the time. It's perfect for like when you're out to dinner with friends or something.
Right.
You just split up the bill and you owe me like $10. And you can just do that through Venmo. It's an app for Android or iPhone.
So can you answer his questions?
Yes.
Ooh.
So you can either have a credit that from whatever your friends send you, like that'll go into your Venmo balance.
Right.
But you can also add money to your balance like you would like an arcade machine.
Sure, so you can load up.
Card.
You can load it up.
And that goes from like your checking account. I believe if you want to do it from your bank, I think you're limited to $2,000 a week.
So that's the limit. That's not a bad limit.
Free, according to Venmo's FAQ.
I'm sorry to like get it down to this level.
Yeah.
But you gotta imagine there's like drug dealers doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's
or pimps.
It's so genius.
High-tech pimps, maybe Venmoing out their ladies.
Like, do you think there's any drug dealers that take Square? Do you know what I mean?
Well, they were giving out free Square hardware for a while. Anyone could get one.
I'm just saying. I'm not endorsing it or anything. Yeah. And I don't know how easy it is to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
But
you can annotate too, according to what sale you're giving. You can put like
lettuce,
pound of snow, $2,000.
Oh dear.
Or whatever the going price is. I don't know. I don't do those things.
Not to say that I want someone to call up and explain that to us who's involved in that.
Ounce of grass shavings, $1,000.
Pencil oregano. We got to get out of here. 866-404-CNET is the number to call. Very exciting stuff. Tomorrow, Jill Schlesinger.
Yeah. You do your taxes already? Yeah, you have.
I did. Thursday, I believe we'll have Scott Stein. Friday, director, writer, star, Morgan Spurlock will be here.
Yeah.
Talking with us. I think the Friday after that, we're supposed to have Steve Guttenberg.
Okay.
But maybe we'll have to bump him for Wayne Brady.
He's coming on the
Wayne
show?
Brady? Oh.
My God.
Yeah, so we're working on that too. So it's a lot of fun. More great 404 guests coming your way. That's what we're doing now.
Sweet.
We're getting a lot of cool people on, which means you'll be leaving. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Jeff Bagelar.
And I'm Justin Yu.
It's the 404, high tech, low brow. Have a great Tuesday. See you tomorrow.